Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you are all good. So students, in this video we will be discussing important current affairs for the second week of the November month. The session will be quite interesting and important, and in this video a total of 16 MCQ will be discussed of utmost importance that will be helping you in your preparation. Also students, if you are new to our channel, do subscribe to us. We are one-stop solution for current affairs. The content we provide on daily basis is very important and it will be very useful in your competitive exams. We make sure to upload daily current affairs video 5 a.m. in the morning on daily basis. Then weekly current affairs are uploaded by us. Then daily current affairs are uploaded by us of utmost importance that will help you in your competitive exams in future. Now let's start with the session. Welcome to AffairsCloud. My name is Vikas Rana. We are one-stop solution for current affairs. You can find our Crack Current Affairs course on our application exclusively for current affairs, where you will be getting daily, weekly and monthly current affairs on regular basis. You can use code VIKAS10 to get additional 10% discount while purchasing the course. This video is available both in English and Hindi. The timestamp for both English and Hindi are mentioned in the description of each video. You can contact us on the number provided or mail provided. Also follow us on Telegram and Instagram, and the link for the same is provided in the description of each video. Also students, we have started a new initiative that is of handwritten notes. It is helpful to understand the news daily, time saving and very useful for your revision. We aims to cover 15 questions via handwritten notes in upcoming bank exams. These handwritten notes are available on daily current affairs content PDF at our mobile application and website careerscloud.in. Only our Crack Current Affairs subscribers will be able to access these handwritten notes. A sample PDF of the handwritten notes will be available in the description. First is, which state hosted the 17th Urban Mobility India Conference and Exhibition from 25th of October to 27th of October. So which is that state? It is Gujarat. We are talking about the 17th Urban Mobility India Conference, and what is the location where this was held? This was held in Gujarat. Correct. It was Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs that organized this Urban Mobility India Conference 2024, and it was in support with the government of Gujarat and Gujarat Metro Rail Corporation. This was attended by more than 2200 delegates, including more than 50 participants from abroad. Next, one more thing here, remember, it was Bhubaneswar city. Bhubaneswar, that is in Odisha, was awarded with the title of the city with the best public transport system. Next, which ministry has recently renewed their MOU with Federal Department of Environment, Transport and Communication of Switzerland to enhance technical cooperation between these two nations? Which is that ministry? It is Ministry of Railways, and they will be working together so that the railway infrastructure can be enhanced, new railway lines can be laid down, new infrastructure project can come up, and also this will strengthen the cooperation in areas such as technology sharing, track maintenance, construction, and so on. This MOU will be valid for the next 5 years. Next, which country has recently officially decided not to join the China's Belt and Road Initiative? Earlier it was our India that decided from that they won't be joining the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Correct. And now it is Brazil. And remember, this is also, our India is also BRICS country, and Brazil also is a part of BRICS, that has decided to not join the BRI infrastructure project of China. This Belt and Road Initiative is also known as by the name New Silk Road. Next, the designation of the Central Nodal Officer under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of 1967 was changed from Additional Secretary to which position? It was changed to Joint Secretary. Next is, who has been recently named as the Asia's Men International Player of the Year 23 by Asian Football Confederation during the 28th edition of the AFC Annual Award Ceremony in South Korea. So Song Hyung-min, right? He has been named as the Asia's Men's International Player of the Year for the 4th time by the AFC during the 28th edition of the AFC Annual Award. Correct? Take a note of this. And Ellie Carpenter has been named as the Asia's Women International Player of the Year 2023. Next is, who has been recently elected as the 47th President of USA? So Donald John Trump has been appointed as the 47th president of USA. Earlier he was also the 45th president of USA. Right? Who was the 46th president, or who he will be succeeding? He will be succeeding Joe Biden. Next, who was recently appointed as the chairman of the SSC? So S. Gopal Krishnan was appointed as the chairman of SSC. He will be succeeding whom? He will be succeeding Rakesh Ranjan. If we talk about V. Umashankar, he has been appointed as the secretary of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Vikram Devdutt, he has been appointed as the secretary of the Ministry of Coal. And if we talk about Subrata Gupta, she has been appointed as the secretary to the Ministry of Food Processing and Industries. Next, name the spaceship that was recently launched by the China with 3 astronauts on board. So it is Shenzhou 19, right? This is the spaceship launched by China with 3 astronauts on board, and this will be going to the Tiangong space station, that is also of China. Next, which subdivision has been officially declared as the 17th district of Nagaland? So Meluri, correct, it has been officially became the 17th district of Nagaland. Take a note of this. And this Meluri tribe, this district is primarily habited by the Naga tribe, that is Pochuri Naga tribe. Next, name the India's first endangered bird species birthed through the artificial insemination, that is your Great Indian Bustard. The center has been collecting the GIB eggs, that is your Great Indian Bustard eggs, from various locations in Rajasthan desert for safe hatching and breeding them. Correct? Next is which of the following are correct with respect to the 7th session of the International Solar Alliance held in New Delhi? See, ISA established by India and France in 2015, headquarter of which is in Gurugram, Haryana. Right? Question asked among them is which among the following is correct? So option A and C are correct, B is wrong. B is saying that the 7th session of International Solar Assembly has elected India as the president and Seychelles as the co-president for a period of 2 years from 2024 to 2026. Is it correct? So no. India is the president, but who is the co-president? Not Seychelles, but France is the co-president here, and it is for 2 years from 2024 to 2026. Next, which country hosted the 16th meeting of the Conference of the Parties to the Convention on Biological Diversity from 21st of October to 1st of November 2024? If we look at this, it is Colombia, right? Colombia hosted the 16th meeting on CBD COP16 that was held from 21st of October to 1st of November, right? Take a note of this. And during this, Global Ecosystem Atlas was also launched. Next, one more thing, there was a theme for this COP16. What was the theme? Peace with nature. This is the theme that I want you all to take a note of it. Next, who has recently co-chaired the 2nd ministerial meeting of the Economy and Investment Committee under the India-Saudi Arabia Partnership Council held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? So, who recently co-chaired it? It was co-chaired by Piyush Goyal. Correct? And this here he co-chaired the 2nd ministerial meeting of the Economy and Investment Committee along with Saudi Arabia, and also he took part in the 8th edition of FII that was held from 29th of October to 31st of October in 2024, and it was held in Riyadh, and this was the 8th edition of FII, that is your Future Investment Initiative. This is also important. Next, which country has recently signed a memorandum of understanding on bilateral defense cooperation with India? It is Algeria, right? Algeria signed this MOU on bilateral defense cooperation along with India, correct? And he focused on Make in India and Make for the World initiatives. Next, which bank has recently issued the first biodiversity and nature focused bond worth $100 million to fund the vital conservation projects across Asia and the Pacific? It is Asian Development Bank, ADB, right? The bond was announced during the 16th COP held in Cali, Colombia, and these bonds are worth $100 million, correct? And they will be used for various conservation projects across Asia and the Pacific region. Next, according to RBI's half-yearly report released in October, foreign exchange reserves have increased from 646.42 billion to 705.78 billion dollar in September 2024. Next, who has recently received the Mahatma Gandhi Leadership Award in the United Kingdom? So Dara Singh Khurana, right? Dara Singh Khurana, he's an actor, philanthropist, and he received this Mahatma Gandhi Leadership Award. This is for his work towards mental health, right? He worked toward this issue and he has been working it from a very long time. Also, Dara Singh recognized for his significant contribution to the field of arts, and he served as a keynote speaker at the Global Mental Health Summit 2024 that was held at the Oxford University in UK. Next, which city in India has ranked second in the recently released 15th edition of Lonely Planet's Best in Travel list across the world? So it is Puducherry, correct? And this is the city that has ranked the second in the 15th edition of Lonely Planet's Best in Travel list across the world. Kazakhstan has topped the list, correct? Take a note of it. Next, which country has recently become the 46th signatory of the Artemis Accord? What is Artemis Accord? Artemis Accord was launched by NASA, and this was launched for the peaceful exploration of space. And question asked is that which is the 46th country to join the Artemis Accord recently? So it is Republic of Cyprus that became the 46th country to join NASA's Artemis Accord. Next, which of the following compounds in the Earth's upper atmosphere helps to cool down the Earth? So diamond dust, right? New research was carried out and it stated if we spray millions of tons of diamond dust in the Earth's upper atmosphere, then it can help to cool down the Earth's temperature. Next, under which mission Namo Drone Didi? This is a scheme providing drones to the women self-help groups with an outlay of 1,261 crore rupees. So under which scheme, under which mission Namo Didi drone scheme is providing these drones? So the name of the mission is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. Under this Namo Drone Didi scheme is providing drones to the women self-help groups for the agriculture purpose. Next, which zoological park will become the first zoo in India to receive the IGBC certification, that is Indian Green Building Council certification? It is Durgesh Aranya Zoological Park that is in the Himachal Pradesh that will become the first zoo to get this IGBC certification. This IGBC certification is basically that they are working towards the sustainable development goals, they are conserving the environment, they are keeping the biological diversity there safe, and they are promoting the eco-friendly practices there. This entire park has been launched with a budget of 619 crore rupees, and you will be seeing with this that tourism will also increase in the Himachal Pradesh. Next, which ministry has recently reconstituted the Central Apprenticeship Council for 3 years? This is to provide the internships to the upcoming youth, and you will be seeing with various public and private companies this tie-up has been done to provide the internship, and the ministry here associated is Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Next, where was the 15th edition of the exercise Vajra Prahar scheduled to be conducted from 2nd to 22nd of November 2024? Right? Where was the 15th edition of this Vajra Prahar held? It was held at Idaho in USA. Next, name the exercise between India and Indonesia that was held in Jakarta, Indonesia recently. It is Garuda Shakti. Right? And this was the 9th edition of this exercise held in Jakarta, Indonesia. From Indian side, 25 Indian personnel from the Parachute Regiment took part in this exercise. Next, the Reserve Bank of India recently announced that any entity that is seeking authorization for central counterparty, they should have at least a net worth of 300 crore rupees. Right? Minimum 300 crore rupees worth is required. These central counterparties, these are basically, say you are a person here, right? And you want to buy shares or sell shares, and there is a person who wants to sell shares, but this person here, CCP, this is your CCP that will be buying from here or selling this person or selling to this person or buying. It will be acting as a mediator. So they should have a minimum wealth of 300 crore rupees here. Next, who has recently reappointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Axis Bank. So Amitabh Chaudhary has been appointed as the reappointed as the MD and CEO of Axis Bank Limited. He will be in this position for the next 3 years, right? Next, who has recently won the F1 Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo, Brazil? So Max Verstappen, right, has won the F1 Brazilian Grand Prix. Correct, take a note of this. And this is the 4th straight F1 title for Max Verstappen and the 8th title for 2024. Next, when is National Legal Service Day annually observed? National Legal Service Day observed on 9th of November. And here remember, the first ever National Legal Service Day observed in 1995. Next, which volcanic mountain has recently erupted in Indonesia, causing casualties and damage to the villages? So Mount Lewotobi Laki Laki, right? This is the name of the volcano that has been recently erupted in Indonesia, and it took lives of at least 10 people. Next, which port is India's first port that has introduced Green Ship Initiative through Environment Ship Index portal? It is Mormugao Port of Goa, right? This is the first port of India that has introduced these green ship initiatives, that is to promote environment friendly practices for the seagoing vessels. This will be promoting sustainable development goals, and also the energy that will be utilized here will be the green energy. Next, according to the Central Water Commission's report, glacial lakes and other water bodies in the Himalayan region, they are witnessing an increase in the glacial lake area, and the increase is almost of 10.81% in 2024 as the ice is melting. That is the reason the water is increasing in those lakes, and the area of those lakes is increased. Say for example, this is the lake area, but because of the melting of the ice, this area becomes this much. This is an increase of the area. So we are seeing on an average a 10.1% increase in 2024 because of the climate change, and almost 67 lakes, they have experienced an increase of almost 40% in the area of those lakes. Next, according to ADB's report, Asia Pacific Climate Report, catalyzing finance and policy solutions, the climate change under the high-end emissions lead to -% in the GDP by 2070 across the Asia Pacific region. If we are talking about the Asia Pacific region, almost 16.9% of the GDP will be lost by 2070. Whereas if we talk about specifically for India, almost 24.7% of the GDP will be lost because of the climate change. Even World Health Organization, they recently released a report as well as along with World Bank that stated that because of the rise in temperature, India will be losing 10 to 20% of the daily working hours also because of the rise in temperature. Next, who has topped the 11th edition of the Huron India Philanthropy List, recently released by Eldalgi Foundation in partnership with Huron India? So Shiv Nada, right? He has topped this 11th edition of the Huron India Philanthropy List released by the Eldalgi Foundation in partnership with Huron India. Next, who has recently won the International Hockey Federation Men's Player of the Year in Muscat, Oman? So who won it? It was won by Harmanpreet Singh. Correct, take a note of this. Next, which word is selected as the Collins Word of the Year 2024? So which is the Collins Word of the Year 2024? It is Brett. Brett is basically a person who is full of confidence, independent, and Brett basically signifies a person who is or we can say who is too much arrogant, we can say in that word, right? Who is full of confidence but in a negative way, right? So this is the word of the year 2024, Collins Word of the Year 2024, Brett. Next, who has recently sworn in as the 51st Chief Justice of India? So who was the 50th Chief Justice of India? D.Y. Chandrachudji, Justice D.Y. Chandrachudji. And who is the 51st here? Justice Sanjeev Khanna. Here the oath was presided by whom? The oath of the Chief Justice is presided over by Draupadi Murmu ma'am, the President of India. This question can also be asked. Next, who has been recently re-elected to a second term as the President of Moldova? So Maya Sandu, right? A 52-year-old former World Bank economist has been re-elected to a second term as the President of Moldova. Next is, in which city India's first Mars and Moon analog mission has been recently launched? This is basically to recreate the similar conditions that we can find on the moon and Mars. So Leh Ladakh has been chosen the area where India's first Mars and moon mission has been Mars and moon analog mission has been launched. Correct, as it is to create similar conditions, because we see in this area the temperature ranges between 15 degrees Celsius to minus 10 degrees Celsius. It has high altitude, low oxygen levels and rocky climate. Next, which is the UN's World Science Day for Peace and Development annually observed across the globe? It is 10th of November. We observe as the UN World Science Day for Peace and Development. Then there is a theme here that you need to remember, theme being youth at the forefront. Next, when is National Education Day annually observed across India to mark the birth anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad? So it is 11th of November, observed as the National Education Day, and for the first time it was observed in 2008. And this year it was the 136th birth anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Next, which organization has recently inked an agreement with the Department of Biotechnology to conduct biotechnology experiments? It is ISRO. Right, take a note of this. Next is the CPI based inflation reached a 14-month high of how much percent? It is 6.21% in October month from 5.49 that was in September. Also, the food inflation that we are seeing has also high this month in October, and we are seeing in November also we are seeing the inflation is close to more than 10%, right? Next, which institute has recently secured the highest rank in India in the 16th edition of Cochrane-Simon World University Asia 2025 list? It is IIT Delhi, right? They have secured the highest rank in India, and this was the 16th edition of the Cochrane-Simon World University ranking. If we talk about IIT Bombay, they were at the 48th position. IIT Delhi was at the 44th position. IIT Bombay, they were at the 48th position. IIT Madras at the 56th position. Which was the university that secured the first position here? It is the Peking University of China that secured the first position. Next, which organization has recently released Global Tuberculosis Report that stated that India has registered 17.7% decline in the TB cases from 237 per lakh population in 2015-19 in 2023 to 195 in 2023. So a 17.5 reduction we are seeing. This report was released by World Health Organization, and TB is tuberculosis that affects your lungs, and this is a communicable disease. Next, the World Bank has approved $200 million, and this loan was approved. This is a loan that was approved for Kerala's, right, Kera project. This Kera project is basically to provide agriculture sector in Kerala a boost, to provide them with technology, with various infrastructure funding that is required, and this will be benefiting more than 4 lakh farmers in Kerala. Next, which city has recently launched 55 satellites into orbit using Soyuz 2.1B rocket, including 2 Iran satellites? So, which is the country? It is Russia that has launched these 55 satellites, out of which 2 are of Iran. Correct, they were launched using the Soyuz 2.1B rocket. Next, name the world's first wooden satellite that was launched into space by Japan from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, USA. What is the name of that wooden satellite? And this is important. This will be testing, or this will be kind of experiment in itself, that we are launching a satellite into space that is wood, right? So can it sustain the radiation there? So everything will be discussed here. So it is LignoSat. This is the name of the wooden satellite, the first wooden satellite launched by Japan in space. Next is, which country is set to host the first international esports championship in 2025? So it is China. It is our India that will be hosting the first international esports championship in 2025, and participants from 150 countries will be participating here. Next, which country has retained their position as a leading supplier of oil to India as of September 2024? It is Russia. Next, in which state the first ever integrated check post was recently launched on the India-Bhutan border? It is Assam state. Correct, take a note of this. Next, which city has recently emerged as the world's top city brand in the Brand Finance Global City Index 2024? It is London, UK. right? Second position was secured by New York of USA, and third position was of Paris, France. Next, which bank has recently signed $200 million loan with the government of India to provide upgradation of water supply, sanitation, urban mobility and other urban services in Uttarakhand? It is ADB, Asian Development Bank. Correct? And also European Investment Bank will co-finance this project with $191 million. This project will develop transportation, urban mobility, drainage, flood management and overall public services in Haldwani. Next, who has been recently elected as the new Secretary General of International Criminal Police Organization, that is Interpol? So, Valdesi Arquiza, he has been appointed as the new Secretary General of Interpol. Next, who has recently took over as the Chairman of Airports Authority of India? So, Vipin Kumar, he has been recently appointed as the Chairman of Airports Authority of India and he will be succeeding M. Suresh. Next, in which state DRDO they conducted the first flight test of long range attack cruise missile? So it is Odisha. Take a note of this. It is Odisha and DRDO tested it. Next, name the South Korean communication satellite that was launched by SpaceX. It is Korea Sat 6A. This is an Earth observation satellite and it was launched by Falcon 9, the rocket of SpaceX. So that's all for the day, students. Now let's move to some revision part that will be very beneficial in your learning. Next, who has been recently elected as the 67th President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India for the 2024 to 2025 period? So Bibhuti Bhushan Nayak, right? A certified management accountant has been elected as the 67th President of ICMAI for the period 24-25. And he will succeed Ashwin Dalwadi. Right? Next, who is set to become the next president of Asian Cricket Council in January 2025? So Mohsin Naqvi is set to become the next president of the Asian Cricket Council in January 2025. This will be a 2-year term that will commence from January 2025. And who is the current ACC president? Jai Shah. Next is who has recently assumed the additional charge as the Director General of Border Security Force. So Daljit Singh Chaudhary, he has assumed the additional charge as the Director General of Border Security Force, right? And he succeeded whom? He succeeded Nitin Agarwal. Next, who has recently taken the charge as the Director General of the Assam Rifles, India's oldest paramilitary force, often known as the Sentinels of the North East? So Vikas Lakhera, right? He has taken charge as the Director General of Assam Rifles, India's oldest paramilitary force, often known as the Sentinels of the North East. And Vikas Lakhera, he will succeed Lieutenant General Pradeep Chandra Nair. Next, who has been recently appointed as the ambassador of the South Africa's premier T20 cricket league? Dinesh Karthik. He has been appointed as the ambassador for the South Africa's premier T20 cricket league. And he became the first Indian player to be associated with the South African tournament. Next, who was recently named as the chief advisors of the Bangladesh interim government by the President Mohammad Shabuddin? So Muhammad Yunus, he has been named as the chief advisor of the Bangladesh interim government by the President Mohammad Shabuddin. Next, who has been recently appointed as the chairman of the SBI, and he will be succeeding whom? Dinesh Kumar Khara. So right option is CS Sethi, right? He will be the new chairman of SBI and will succeed Dinesh Kumar Khara. Who has been recently appointed as the Prime Minister of Tunisia, succeeding Ahmed Hachni? So, Kamel Maduri has been appointed as the Prime Minister of Tunisia and he will succeed Ahmed Hachni. Next, who is set to succeed Piyush Gupta as the Chief Executive Officer and Director of the DSB Group in March 2025? So, Tan Su Shan has been appointed as the Chief Executive Officer of and Director of DBS Group. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited. So Praveena Rai, right, has been appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Multi Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Chairman and Managing Director of NHPC Limited. So Raj Kumar Chaudhary has been appointed as the Chairman and Managing Director of NHPC Limited. Next, who has been recently elected as the youngest Prime Minister of Thailand. So Paetongtran Shinawatra has been elected as the youngest Prime Minister of Thailand, right? And she will succeed Phumtham Vachiachi, right? She will succeed him. Next, who has been recently appointed as the MD and CEO of Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank Limited. So Sali Sukumaran Nair has been appointed as Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Permanent Representative of India to United Nations in New York, USA. So Parvatheni Harish, right? P. Harish has been appointed as the Permanent Representative of India to United Nations in New York, USA, and he will be succeeding Ruchira Kamboj. Ruchira Kamboj, she was the first woman to become the Indian ambassador to UN. Next, who has recently taken charge as the Director General of ESIC, that is Employee State Insurance Corporation. So Ashok Kumar Singh, right? He has taken charge as the Director General of ESIC. Next, which of the following points are correct with respect to the recent appointments approved by ACC? If we look at the options here, all three of the options are rightly mentioned. Next, who has been appointed as the Secretary General of the Indian Ocean Rim Association Secretariat for 3-year term starting from January 2025. So Sanjeev Ranjan, right, appointed as the Secretary General of the Indian Ocean Rim Association Secretariat for the next 3 years starting from January 2025. The UN International Day of Police Cooperation was observed across the world on which day? It was observed across the world on 7th of September, and it is to promote international cooperation between police forces around the world, right? And this year it marks the second edition observance of this day. The theme for this day is police integrity, accountability and oversight. Next, UNESCO's International Literacy Day is annually celebrated across the globe when it is annually celebrated on 8th of September to raise awareness about the significance of literacy as a fundamental human right and a matter of dignity. For the first time, this day was observed in 1967. Next, when was the International Vulture Awareness Day annually observed across the globe? It is 7th of September we observe this day, and this International Vulture Awareness Day is observed basically to create awareness about the conservation of vulture bird. And this year, generally we know that this time it was 7th of September, right? But remember, this day is observed on the first Saturday of September month. Next, which day is declared as the World Rural Development Day by United Nations General Assembly? So, which day is declared as World Rural Development Day? It is 6th of July, observed as World Rural Development Day. And for the first time, remember, this day will be observed in 2025, right? We can say the inaugural edition will be in 2025, right? Next, when was Himalaya Divas, also known as the Himalaya Day, observed across India? So Himalaya Divas or Himalaya Day observed on 9th of September, and it is to basically create awareness about the importance of the Himalayan mountain range and its ecosystem. This year, 9th of September 2024, it was the 15th edition of the Himalaya Divas. Next, when is the World Suicide Prevention Day celebrated to create awareness about suicide prevention, reduce stigma and help people? So UN International Day, World Suicide Prevention Day, it is observed on 10th of September. Right? Next, Next is, when is National Forest Martyrs Day observed across India? So National Forest Martyrs Day observed on 11th of September, and this is basically to raise awareness about the Khejri massacre that took place in 1730s, and this day is observed basically to make sure that the people who are working towards the protecting Indian forest and wildlife, right, they are brave or they are recognized. Next, who among the following were recently awarded the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought 2024 by European Parliament along with Edmundo Gonzalez? So remember, first thing, that this Sakharov Prize is given by European Parliament, and who was honored with this Sakharov Prize? So Maria Corina Machado was honored with Sakharov Prize, and this Sakharov Prize is basically for the freedom of thought, right, that promotes fundamental rights, right, and equality. Next, who has been recently selected to be inducted into the International Tennis Hall of Fame Chess of 2025? So who has been elected here? Name that person who has been elected into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. So among the following, here remember Maria Sharapova, right, along with Bryan brothers were also inducted here. Who are the two Bryan brothers? Bob Bryan and Mike Bryan. Next, who was recently appointed as the National Ambassador for Cyber Safety by the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center to promote cyber safety? So Rashmika Mandhana, right, she was appointed as the National Ambassador for Cyber Safety by the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. And this I4C, this comes under which ministry? It comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Next, name the seventh vessel in the anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft series that was recently launched by the Indian Navy at L&T in Tamil Nadu. So seventh vessel we are talking about. So seventh is Abhay. Correct? Take a note of this. Which was the fifth and which was the sixth? Fifth was Agre, sixth was Akshay, seventh is Abhay. Next, how many sports will feature in the 23rd edition of the Commonwealth Games scheduled to be held in Glasgow, Scotland? So a total of 10 sports will be featuring here, right? Wrestling, badminton, hockey, cricket and shooting, these are the sports that have been dropped from this 23rd edition of the Commonwealth Games. Next, when is the UN Day annually observed across the globe to commemorate the day the UN Charter entered into a force in 1947? So it is 24th of October. We observe this day as UN Day, that is United Nations Day. And this year in 2024, we observed the 79th anniversary of the UN Day. The theme for this is building a better future together. Next, where was the second National Lighthouse Festival? I repeat, National Lighthouse Festival in India celebrated, that to the second edition of it. It was held in Puri, Odisha, and it was held on 19th of October. It began with Lighthouse Tourism Conclave 2024 hosted by Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways. And this National Lighthouse Festival is observed in order to basically increase tourism, right? Next is, who has recently launched international incoming spoofed call prevention system to block spoofed international calls? So Jyotiraditya Scindia ji has launched this international incoming spoofed call prevention system to block spoofed international calls, basically in order to prevent scams, so that these scammers cannot call on the random people's number from anywhere in the world, right? Because most of the scam calls are coming from outside India. UN International Day for South-South Cooperation is annually celebrated when? So UN International Day for South-South Cooperation is celebrated on 12th of September to highlight the importance of cooperation among the developing countries of the global south, and for the first time this was observed in 2004. Next, when was Hindi Divas annually observed across India to commemorate the adoption of Hindi as one of the 22 official languages of India? So Hindi Divas observed on 14th of September, and this day raises the awareness and promote the usage of Hindi language. This year 2024 it marks the 75th anniversary of Hindi becoming the official language. World Hindi Day, it is observed on 10th of January. Next, when was the National Engineers Day observed? National Engineers Day is observed on 15th of September. Next, when was the first ever UN International Day of Science, Technology and Innovation for the South observed? So, UN International Day for the Science, Technology and Innovation observed on 16th of September. Right? This day highlights the importance of STI in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Next, when was UN International Day for International Cardiology annually observed across the globe? It is 16th of September we observe this day, and this year in 2024 it was the second observance of this day. First was observed in 2023. Next, when was UN International Equal Pay Day observed across the globe to raise awareness about the gender pay gap? Right, so it is 18th of September we observe this day, and this time it was the fifth time or fifth observance of this day. The first observance was in 2020. Next, when was World Water Monitoring Day annually observed across the globe? So World Water Monitoring Day observed on 18th of September, and this is basically to create awareness about the monitoring water quality issues and promote the public involvement in protecting the water resources. There is a theme for this day, that is water for peace. Next, when was the first UN World Cleanup Day observed across the globe? It is 20th of September. Next, when was the World Alzheimer's Day annually observed across the globe to raise awareness and challenges the stigma around Alzheimer disease? So, it is 21st of September that we observe this day, correct? And Alzheimer is a disease in which a person is having a dementia, or basically the person forgets the things. Next, International Red Panda Day is annually observed across the globe. When? It is generally observed on the third Saturday of September month. It is observed on the third Saturday of the September month. For the first time, this day was observed on 18th of September in 2010, and this year it is 21st of September, observed in 2024. Next, when was World Rivers Day observed across the globe? So World Rivers Day is observed across the globe on 22nd of September 2024. Right, for the first time it was observed in 2005, and it creates awareness about the rivers, their importance, why should we preserve them, and what role do they play in our daily life. Next, when was World Rose Day, also known as the Day for the Welfare of Cancer Patients, annually observed across the globe to raise awareness about cancer? So we observe this day on 22nd of September, and it is to basically raise awareness about cancer. Next, when was World Car Free Day annually observed across the globe to encourage motorists to take break from driving and explore the alternatives like walking and cycling? So it is your World Car Free Day observed on 22nd of September. Apart from this, do remember International Day of Sign Languages. It is observed on 23rd of September, and it creates awareness about the sign languages for the visually impaired, for sign languages for the hearing impaired people. Next, when was the World Pharmacist Day annually observed across the globe? So World Pharmacist Day is annually observed on 25th of September. Then apart from this, National Service Scheme Day observed on 24th of September. Next is, when is World Malaria Day annually observed across the globe? World Maritime Day. It is observed on 26th of September, and this day is observed basically to create awareness about the maritime activities and to recognize the contribution of the maritime industry in the global development. Observed on 26th of September.
Which country has the largest number of people living in poverty in the world with 234 million people? So, as per the recent report 2024 of the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index. So, this was the 2024 Global Multidimensional Poverty Index that has been released here. And in this, which country has the largest number of people living in poverty? It is our country, India. India has the largest number of people who are living in poverty, that is close to 1.1 billion people. Also, if we talk about this only, as per the report, India with 234 million people, this is we are talking about the global data, right? India 234 million people have the largest number of people who are living in poverty. If we talk about Pakistan, it is 93 million, and globally it is close to 1.1 billion people. Out of 6.1 billion people total, 1.1 billion people are living in poverty. Next is, which state has recently received $241.3 million loan from Asian Development Bank to enhance the power distribution in the state? So it is West Bengal state, right? They have received $241.3 million loan from Asian Development Bank to enhance their power distribution. Next, who has recently named the male International Shooting Sport Federation Athlete of the Year at the ISSF World Cup final opening ceremony in New Delhi? So, male International Shooting Sport Federation Athlete of the Year. So, Liu Yukun, right? So, Liu Yukun from China has been named as the male, right? And who has been named as the female? This is your, okay, let me give you only. Female is Yang Jin from South Korea has been named as the female International Shooting Sport Federation Athlete of the Year 2024. Next, when is World Polio Day annually observed across the globe? So, World Polio Day is observed on 24th of October across the globe to create awareness about polio, its treatment and everything. First World Polio Day was observed in the year 2002. Next, when is National Ayurveda Day observed across India to create awareness about the role of Ayurveda? So, when is National Ayurveda Day observed? It is 29th of October. We observe National Ayurveda Day, and it is to create awareness about the role of Ayurveda and in the prevention and treatment of wide range of the health issues. National Ayurveda Day observed on 29th of October. Right? Next. Correct. National Ayurveda Day in 2024 is on 29th of October, because this day, National Ayurveda Day, is observed on Dhanvantri Jayanti or Dhanteras, that is the festival of Dhanvantri. Next, who has been recently appointed as the new president of the ICC, that is Indian Chamber of Commerce? So, Abhyuday Jindal. Abhyuday Jindal has been appointed as the new president of the ICC, International Chamber of Commerce. Next, who has recently created history by becoming the first Indian artist to be featured on the cover of Billboard, Canada? So, Diljit Dosanjh, right? He created history by becoming the first Indian artist to be featured on the cover of the Billboard in Canada. Next, which country has recently hosted the 19th International Conference of Drug Regulatory Authorities in collaboration with the World Health Organization? So it is our India. The conference was held from 14th of October till 18th of October. What is the location? That is Yashobhumi. Yashobhumi is your India International Convention Center, that is in New Delhi. Next, which country hosted the 16th edition of BRICS Summit from 22nd to 23rd of October in 2024? It is Russia, and Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted the 16th edition of BRICS Summit from 22nd to 23rd of October. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part here, and during this BRICS Summit, an interesting and important declaration was signed, that is your Kazan Declaration. Can you tell me in the comment section? This is your homework. What is this Kazan Declaration? We have discussed this multiple times, and Kazan is the location in Russia where this summit was held. So hence Kazan Declaration. You tell me in the homework section that what was this Kazan Declaration, because we have discussed this multiple times. Next, what is the total number of entities in the Reserve Bank of India alert list after adding 13 more firms in the list in October 2024? So, the total number of entities is 80 in the RBI's RBI alert list. Next, who was recently declared as the 6th president of Botswana? So, Dumo Boko. Duma Boko has been appointed as the sixth president of Botswana. Next, which company has recently signed a binding agreement to acquire 46.8% stake of Orient Cement Limited for an equity value of 8100 crore rupees? So this will be your Ambuja Cements Limited, right? They have signed a binding agreement that will be acquiring 46.8% of the Orient Cement Limited for an equity value of 8100 crore rupees, and this marks Ambuja Cement's fourth acquisition since its promoter change and the third acquisition of the FY24. ACL Ambuja Cement Limited, they will acquire 395.4 rupees per share of the shareholders of OCL. Next, who has recently secured a silver medal in the women's recurve event at the Slakala 2024 Hyundai Archery World Cup final held in Mexico? Right, so who secured the silver medal in the women's curve event? So Deepika Kumari, Indian Deepika Kumari, she secured the silver medal here. Who won the gold medal? Gold medal was won by Li Jianmen of China. Right, and this was the 18th edition of the Archery World Cup that was hosted by World Archery. Next, who will be the next chairman of the Walt Disney Corporation in January 2025? So James Gorman will be the next chairman of Walt Disney. Next, name the project that was launched by the Union Minister Rajiv Ranjan Singh worth $25 million to strengthen the animal health security in India. So what is the name of that project? It is Pandemic Fund Project. Right, he has also launched the 21st livestock census that will be conducted till Feb 2025 at a cost of 200 crore rupees. So two things. First, he launched a project worth $25 million, right? That is Pandemic Fund Project. And second thing is the 21st livestock census was launched by him. Next, which ministry has recently launched Gram Panchayat level weather forecasting initiative in collaboration with India Meteorological Department to provide daily weather updates to Gram Panchayats? So it is Ministry of Panchayati Raj, right? They have launched the Gram Panchayat level weather forecasting initiative in collaboration with India Meteorological Department that will be providing daily weather updates to Gram Panchayat. And this is the first time that localized weather forecast will be available at the Gram Panchayat level. Next, Ministry of Finance, they have raised the limit of Mudra loan amount under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana from current 10 lakh rupees to dash under the new Tarun Plus category. So they have launched they have raised the limit of Mudra loan under this Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana from the current of 10 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees under the new Tarun Plus category, and it will be effective from 24th of October 2024. Next, what is the age limit of central government pensioners who are eligible for an additional pension as recently stated by the Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions? So the age limit here is 80. Next, India and Pakistan, they have recently renewed their agreement on Kartarpur corridor that has been extended until what? So it was ending in 2024. Now it has been extended for 5 more years, that is till 2029. So right option is option 4. Kartarpur corridor, basically it provides visa-free access to the Indian Sikhs pilgrims who wants to visit the Gurdwara Darbar Sahib that is in Kartarpur, Pakistan. Next, according to the recent reports released by UNESCO Institute for Statistics on World Education Statistics, India has spent nearly how much percent of their GDP on education between 2015 and 2024? India has spent close to 4.1 to 4.6% of the GDP on education between 2015 to 2024. Next, which state has recently received a loan of $434.25 million by Asian Development Bank to boost the renewable energy sector? It is Assam state that received the loan worth $434.25 million by Asian Development Bank, and that will be boosting their renewable energy sector capacity.